So when I was in high school, my baseball coach's favorite saying is there's more than one way to skin a cat. Well, today we're gonna be talking about that. And no, this is not like a cat catch, clean, and cook. Well, what's up guys? This is Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and it's a gorgeous, beautiful day. It sure feels like spring here in Oklahoma. It's literally 70 degrees outside. Makes me want to get out here and work in the garden and get some seeds planted and get stuff growing. But the catch is tomorrow it's supposed to be like 50 and then 40 and then back up to 50, and it's just that time of year where everything is different every day. But that's not what this video is about. So I titled this video, Why I Don't Farm Like Justin Rhodes. Now, Justin and his family have an awesome YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with them, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you need to go check them out. So I'm not here to bash, I'm not bashing Justin and his family at all for the way they farm, but they do things so much different than the way we do. And that's why I said there's more than one way to skin a cat. So Justin is really well known for his basically his ways of tying everything together. Justin does a really good job of using pigs to prepare a garden and turning in his chickens and putting his chickens over a garden bed area for several months and then planting directly there where those animals were and letting them prepare the soil and everything. So last year I kind of did something similar when I put my chickens inside my greenhouse. There's a little cage laying right in front of the greenhouse that I built last year, and it fit just inside my raised beds, and I would put like 3 or 4 laying hens inside that cage and then just slide it down my raised beds and let them kind of prepare the soil. Well, I'm wanting to do something a little bit different today. I mean, we've got all the stuff and we've got the you know, the means. So what I'm going to do is put my hot wire fence back up. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but we're gonna put my hot wire up out here next to the greenhouse, and then I'm gonna put this cage inside, but I'm gonna make an access door for my chickens so that they can come inside at night and roost inside that cage right there. And then during the day, they'll have access to this side of my garden, which there's nothing planted in right now. It's just overgrown from winter. And I want to let my chickens prepare this bed or prepare this garden area so they can get out here, scratch everything up, get all the weeds out, get all the grass out, and hopefully help out with the moles. Tried to push the moles out of the greenhouse, but it's just pushed them over into the garden. And here's what I'm talking about. I'm not kidding. I've got a lot of mole problems. This board was laying on the ground. Thanks for panting, Bella. Everybody likes to hear that. This board was just laying on the ground and I flipped it over. Check out the mole trails. So I definitely want to use the chickens to prepare this garden area, but I think they'll also help deter some of the moles. So let's get started. So as I said earlier, I'm going to be using the same fencing that we used to keep deer out of our garden all last summer, and it worked flawlessly. I never had an issue with deer in the garden. For the first time in about 3 years, it was successful. So this is a electric fencing, similar to a poultry netting. It's made by a company called Premier One, and they sell all kinds of different electric fence materials for whatever your needs are. But this is I believe it was 5.5 feet tall netting, and it's made to keep deer out. Once you get it put up, it's very important to get it electrified so the deer don't come up and get used to it and stick their nose to it and then decide to jump over it. once you put it up, you need to get it hot. And I've never tried to keep chickens in with this, but it's no different than electric poultry netting. At the bottom, it's got holes that are about 2 by 2 square, so it shouldn't be an issue keeping chickens in with it at all. Now, I haven't tested out the chickens with the greenhouse plastic. I don't know if they're gonna mess with that at all or not, but the fence is up. I need to get the Energizer out here, get it plugged in and get it going, which it's solar powered, but I need to get it hooked up to my fence. And then I need to get inside and start working on the cage. We got to get these chickens out here today. Fence is all up, tested it out, it's popping nice and hot. You see the little tester, you put that little test light on there, it goes all the way up to 8,000, so should be hot. Shouldn't have to worry about chickens trying to push through it or under it, anything like that. So I'm gonna move inside and start working on my little chicken cage. Now I know this thing's not big. It's not like I'm expecting the chickens to spend a lot of time in here. They just need a place where they can go inside and roost and not have access to all of my vegetables. I don't see why that won't work. It's not perfect, but I sandbagged both sides so the chickens can't sneak in and go around the door opening there. And I'll get everything set up on the inside, put some roosts in there, and go in and roost at night. Now this will let a little cold air in the greenhouse, but you know, worst case scenario, if it's gonna get really, really cold at night, I'll just come down here, drop the plastic, put a sandbag there, and the chickens will be locked inside for the night. Next morning, we'll just open it back up. So I think that'll work. As I said earlier in the video, I'm not dogging the way that Justin Rhodes farms. I think it's incredible. But what I will say, and kind of back to the title of the video, is why I don't farm like Justin Rhodes. It just comes down to time. It's all about time for me. I have a full-time career. I'm working law enforcement, 3 kids that are not homeschooled. My kids are all in school, but they've all got their own activities with sports and all kinds of different stuff going on. We live a very busy life, and as much as I respect what Justin Rhodes does on his farm, I just don't have the time for that here. So the way, if you're not familiar with this channel, as I said earlier, the way he does things, he'll set up, you know, all these different paddocks on like a rotational system where it may be his garden paddock is right here. And before he plants his garden, he'll bring his pigs in, let his pigs till it up, move to the next one, let the chickens till this one, pigs here, and then on down the line. And then with his dairy cows, every day he moves them with a hot wire system around their pasture. It's just a very time-intensive system, in my opinion. And I'm not saying it's wrong, and I'm not saying my way's better by any means. His way probably is better. But in order for me to be able to get the things done on my farm that I need to do, I need to try to automate as many things as possible. Things like huge round bales for my goats, so they've always got hay. And, you know, things like the garden, I do drip irrigation system. I do, you know, things that are going to be in place for a long time that aren't movable, that aren't on the move all the time and don't have to be tended to every day. I love doing this stuff, I really do. I just know that I don't have the time it takes to commit to it. And a lot of people are like that out there. A lot of people work a full-time career, have kids, have a busy schedule. They're not at home all day, every day, but you still want to be able to grow your own food. And I'm just doing this video because I just want to show that you don't have to be at home all the time. Justin Rhodes has some awesome ways of growing food, and he does have some very good theories on how to set things up to where they kind of manage themselves, but there's still a lot of daily chores that go on around there. Here, there's a lot of days I literally have 10 or 15 minutes to come outside, make sure the chickens are fed, make sure the goats are fed, everything's got water, everything's okay in the greenhouse, and we're gone again. So I still want to be able to do this. I don't want time to kill me. I don't have 2, 3, 4 hours a day to do this stuff. So anyways, that's the gist of it. Now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to mimic some of what Justin does. He always lets his chickens in on his garden before he plants his garden. This is February. It's going to be a couple months before we are ready to plant over here, hopefully. So I'm going to let my chickens do their thing just like Justin would do. Now his chickens would be in a mobile chickshaw that they go out and move every day, which is a great idea, but ours are going to be inside our high tunnel, at least for a little while, until it gets too hot for them in there. And then we'll figure out something to where we can rotate these chickens around the greenhouse. That's one of my goals, is to build something other than the big, huge red chicken house over there. Something that's a little more mobile than that. I need to come up with something like Justin's chickshaw, build something that we can use to, like say this part of the garden right here would be for the chickens right now, and then in a couple months move the hot wire and their mobile coop of whatever style we come up with, put them on this side, and then in front I do want to be able to move my chickens around the garden and let them do their thing out here, because I know they're very valuable. They're a very valuable asset to the garden. There's a lot of benefits of running chickens in the garden. Just for, I mean, if nothing else, I've got all this food growing right here in the greenhouse. And I know this sounds silly, but if I've got waste product in here, it's a long walk over to there to the chicken house. So having, I may make you guys dizzy, huh? Having the chickens right next to the greenhouse will allow me to pick any waste food products that we're not going to eat and just throw them over the fence and let the chickens do their business. And hopefully, as I said earlier, maybe they'll run the moles out of here. Moles don't like chickens, so we're going to use the chickens to help deter the moles too. So the easy work's done now. Now the hard work, I may have to come back at night. Chickens are so much easier to catch at night because they go to roost. You can literally walk in, pick them up, and move them while they're still, you know, not really asleep, but they just don't run from you at night. It's daytime. I really need to get these chickens moved because I have to go to work later. So the fun part's going to be trying to catch the chickens and just move them over here, but maybe we'll get it done. Might not catch them all, but we're at least going to move some of them because that's the whole point of the video. Not too bad. Got them all except the rooster, with a little supervision from Skip here and Gemma. Gemma really wasn't helping, but so the rooster flew out. He always flies out. He can fly. He's part American game chicken. He flies. So got 4 hens the first time, 3 the second time. Let's go turn them all out. Out, girls. Go that way. Go that way. So there you have it, simple as that. I'm really excited to see how long it takes these chickens to clear this area of all the green weeds and grass and things in here. I think they'll do a really good job. They're not necessarily going to till it up, but they can scratch the area up, eat a lot of the seeds, hopefully run the moles off, hopefully, and do a good job for us. So guys, as I said, this is just a small piece of what Justin Rhodes does, and I kind of maybe clickbaity tricked you into watching this video as to why I don't farm like Justin Rhodes. I have a lot of respect for the guy. I have a lot of respect for his family and what they do, but there are, as I said at the beginning of this video, many different ways to skin a cat, and as long as we're all out here trying our best to learn to grow our own food and produce food for our families and our friends, then I don't think there's anything wrong with it. We're gonna try to produce homegrown, healthy food, and that's the main goal here. So it's not all just about the practices, it's not all just about the ways we're doing it, it's not about who's doing it right and who's doing it wrong. It's all about that end result and that homegrown, healthy food. And in this system here, we're gonna be letting the chickens clear this area for us. They'll lay eggs. I'm gonna put a little nest box in that little coop in there, and they'll do their thing, produce food for us while they clean the area, and then we'll use this area to grow food to feed back to the chickens. So it's all just gonna be a big cycle, and this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. So guys, that's all I've got for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Just something a little bit different. It's gardening season almost. We are so close. It's not just all about the goats here on our channel, so we do a lot of gardening, a lot of growing in the high tunnel and things like that. I really enjoy it. It's a stress reliever for me. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day, and as always, we'll see you on the next video.